Okay, so update. I did really bad in the playoffs. I figured I would upload this video because I wanted to put up not just the highlights of when I play well and when things are going well, but also when I draw horrible and play pretty poorly. So I figured it wouldn't hurt to give a report on the end of the kickoffs for me, especially because so many people watched that first kickoff video. So thank you so much for watching that. I saw there were some, like a small handful of subscribers. I still have basically no subscribers, but this channel is for Kyoukai, the game that I'm making, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to upload some more content on that. So I'm going to make like a take-two video at some point soon, but for now, this is just going to be going over replays again, but of my own bad play and what I could have done better and what went wrong here and there. So let's start with the first round. Swordcraft versus Forestcraft, the worst case scenario, and a pretty strong highlight of why I shouldn't have brought my best of one decks into best of three. It really is two separate formats, and not treating it that way hurt me a lot in the end, especially because my first lineup and my first decks were so tuned for a best of one environment in the first place. By the way, Sword Rune kind of holds up in both situations. It's kind of just like a generically good lineup that you don't have to think too much about, so anyone that brought it could bring it again, and it seems like a lot of people did. But in this hand, is good. So just to begin with, this hand is very good, but the sword matchup is just not good. But this is the first one that I throw pretty badly. So as the game progresses, you'll see that things are really going kind of normal, right? And so the danger against sword is going to be when they go way out of control. And so using this here was a very weird decision on my part that I honestly can't even remember exactly why I did. I think in the end I was thinking that I wanted to make sure the staff got down because I had two staffs. And that I would have enough time. Oh, that's right. I don't. That's why I did that. Using the extra play point on the Titania doesn't do anything. You do want to just get it down on 4, so I figured I would use the extra play point here because I had no reason to use it on turn 5 or turn 4. Because I was just going to evo the Titania if I was going to do that anyways. In the end, I opt to go through the board this way, simply because I can. I figured I would hold the Titania for later just in case it came up, especially because I don't even have a roach yet. I'd rather start drawing. I find the carbuncle, which is good. And then he, again, does something non-committal. I end up just putting the Titania down because it's getting a little late. But I should have... That was my first... So this was the first bad turn. This should have been an easy staff fairy ambush or something. Did I have 2 fairies in my hand? Maybe I wanted to make sure I was getting... I still think it should have been an easy staff fairy turn or something. And now in this situation, I'm kind of like starting to get into dangerous territory. I use an ambush here because I have no other way to really use cards up. And that's not great either. I think I should have just Gardens Allured with... I should have Gardens Allured with the Lily, probably, actually. So this was like a weird series of all 3 staffs. Okay, so it's starting to get worse, but you can see what I mean by, like, I'm kind of playing badly right out of the gate. I don't know why I didn't just use the Gardens Allure with the Lily to draw 2 cards, and then also trigger both staffs. Because in this situation, the ambush does nothing, right? The ambush is truly not accomplishing anything. So I'm kind of using a lot of cards in really poor ways. And I'm not sure why I was playing that way right out of the gate. I think I was already kind of like tilted a little bit. But I have to accept if he can kill me there, and I was kind of like trying to avoid it without knowing full well I was never actually clearing the bells anyways. So from here, again, I still don't have access to anything important, but I do have the tools for a clear sync thanks to the Lily that I still have for some reason. And it's a good thing I currently have it right here. But yeah, this is going to be one of those games where, in the end, I think I maybe was always losing, but I regret how I played it still. I use a play point here just to draw 2 cards in the end, so if I'd done this way earlier, it would have been fine. In the end, I draw Double Veil, and we're not going to find a Roach before we die. I think in the end, nothing really mattered. I mean, this is happening now, so I'm really running out of ways to play this game. I have Ambush May, Godwood Staff. In theory, I have like a good clear here, but I don't think I draw the Roach. Yeah. I start immediately just doing what I can, If I remember correctly, it's just this into this, attack here, play the ambush. Oh, that's right, get this out of the way before using ambush. Unfortunately, have to use a Super Evo here. Yep. Do this. Should have ambushed first, obviously. I don't know what that was all about. Bounce the May. Yeah. I don't hate how I got through this turn. I don't know why I didn't ambush first, but it doesn't. Again, once again, just doesn't matter. Never truly had the option of winning this one. It started really strong, but a bunch of weird early turn plays to not draw as hard as I could have, combined with like a very strange late game and like poor clears, ended up taking the game away from me before I could even finish it, and is part of the reason why the Sword versus Forest matchup is so favored towards Sword, like so crazily. Like it's just impossible. It's really bad. Next, we have Rune versus Forest, a matchup I'm supposed to win like 99% of the time, and we're going to see a lot of that other 1% today. A lot of that is going to be my fault. I think this is the first one where I was supposed to win that I truly messed up really badly, and we're going to see exactly when it happens. Because I think in the beginning, I'm pretty tuned in. I'm still a little tilted from the first one, but it was a little out of my control, and I wasn't super hard on myself for some of the smaller mistakes I made that we pointed out earlier. And so instead what's going to happen is I'm going to just get weirdly frightened for no reason. Because in my mind, I'm still playing against Sword a little bit. Obviously I'm not, but in my, like, for some reason I was thinking that way. And yeah, I was thinking about how last game I used the Garden Slower really badly and used it early here with a really poor hand, and I think that was the right decision. Immediately draw Staff Fairy, fine. Lily attack, fine. Everything here so far is fine. I think it's turn 7 that I do something truly egregious. Either that or turn 8. So we'll see that come up. For now, we're just playing against normal stuff. Nothing too crazy has happened yet. Actually, this is about to be a weird one. No, it's not. Okay, I drew a second Glade. I'm forced to use a Glade. I draw a Lamaga again. Evo, that's fine. Everything so far, I think, isn't that bad. We're going to end up, yeah, being forced into using Titania here. Not even forced, but I want to. Yeah, drawing another one, so we super want to. Oh, that's right, we don't even use an Evo, and we draw the Roach. So from here, things are looking good. We don't have any Bales, but that's fine. We need to get this Lambent Cairn down. But I don't. I opt to Lamaga here because it's too clean, and I think I'm about to draw the second one, so I'm getting even more, like, baited into just dropping the Lamaga, right? No, another Roach. Oh, and I don't do that. Huh. I guess this will be a surprise to both of us, to all of us, what I do, because this is my first time watching it back since yesterday. Oh, that's right. I do it this way. And I leave a 3-3. And then this is where the second Lamaga shows up. So this is going to be a Lamaga turn, I'm 99% sure. Because there's no efficient clear into this board anymore, except for, like, even if we Glade, it doesn't deal enough. So this is, I think, Lamaga here, Super Evo and attack over this. We lose one of the Bales. But it's, like, too late for Bale anyways. If I remember correctly, we do it like this. Yeah. And then here, we're about to see a pretty bad play. Because at this point, I'm, like, in a good spot. Like, this is, like, a driver's seat position. He's de-shifting early. He's, like, taking 2 more from this. A lot of good things are happening. But I'm about to make some really bad choices. And being at 9 is annoying, but it shouldn't have been that much of an issue. All I really have to do, and we're about to see it. So I hit a good bug alert here. So I do this, I bug alert because I can't find another line to get through stuff. And then I ambush, and it hits perfectly. This goes into here, and this. Now, from here, all I really have to do is attack with this, put down the roach. He's out of super evos, by the way. Put down the roach for 7, and then use this and swing for 8, put him at 10, right? And if I do that, everything is kind of fine. I can deal with the next turn a little bit. I can just leave the roach there. I can not use the super evo. I don't need to. So there's like a lot of good stuff happening, but instead what I do is I play a second landing character, set up more 0 drops, and then super evo this to clear this. This is the mistake. I don't know why I'm so concerned with getting rid of that Kuon. There's simply no way for him to deal 3 more. It just can't happen. And it even makes his board a little worse to leave it there. So if I just drop the roach and I put him down to 10, I give myself the ability, he has to heal, I draw another roach, making my situation even worse. If I had simply done that 8 damage, he'd be at 10 right now, and things would be a lot cleaner. I'd have my super evo to actually try to kill him next turn. Instead, with very high life, he gets to just throw down a second Kuon, and put me in this situation here, where now everything sucks. I lose another Bale, and here's the second situation. So I don't have a way to get through this. It's just not happening. I have like 1-1. I can't actually kill this somehow. What I should have done is Lamaga'd these 2, and then bounced this. But at this point, this is all because I don't have my super evo, because I wasted that last turn not putting him at 10. Like, I did too many things wrong, knowing I wouldn't have a carbuncle or a super evo to like make up the difference in like this like very weak situation. So that last turn is already creating an issue. But instead of like actually doing that turn correctly, I used both Deep Woods for no reason, because I am just thinking like I have to win this turn, which is kind of true anyways, but and then I pass. Not bouncing this Lamaga and using both Deep Woods is so crazily wrong that I'm essentially conceding anyways. You see, if I like, so if the Lamaga was in my hand, these would be stuck here, and these would be stuck here, and he'd simply have to attack for 2 and end his turn. Instead, he gets to play his third Kuon and then Dimension Climb 2. But I don't even have a win condition anymore, and I've just kind of like floundered my way through this one. So yeah, I got tilted, I got confused, I messed up, and I lost pretty badly. In the end, it didn't even matter because he had all 3 Kuons and 2 Sage Lights, and you know, it was like just out of control regardless. But it did matter for the fact that I should have been forcing him to use the Sage Lights. I should have... That one turn where I Super Evo'd the Fairy was where it all went wrong, for sure. So if I didn't... I could have won that one. In essence, the reason that matchup is so heavily Forest favored, and one of the most favored matchups in the entire game right now, is because the Forest deck has routes to win that the Rune deck cannot truly answer. But if you play normally and let them kind of build resources the way that they want to, it's not going to work out if you don't apply the game pressure. So, played that game super wrong, used the roaches really poorly. Next game we have, I kind of like sit down, I say like, alright, that was really bad. Let's try to start playing correctly, and these are much better games this time. We are going to have a Forest versus Wardhaven, which is impossible, and we'll see it become impossible pretty quickly. But we also get our Wardhaven versus Artifact Portal matchup that we like so much, so... I start playing Portal first because I think I need the anchor to like play like a clean, simple game to give myself some emotional strength for the second and third games with Forest. And that's essentially what happens here. We have a very normal and clean Artifact Portal game. We're getting a crazy amount of pieces. It's very easy for me to naturally count these. I use a bullet here after some deliberation because it's the only thing that really makes sense. So I think if I remember correctly, it's going to be bullet and then fuse a second time and then pass after attacking for 2, right? Yeah. I'm going to remember this game much more easily. Or rather, I'm not really remembering the games. It's just from what I would do again. It's probably going to be pretty close to the same play again. Yeah. So this is going to be, yep, Carnelia, Beta, Evo, Miriam. Getting ready to play the Miriam, yeah. Evo, give ward to the Gamma. Keep things simple. He's using Evos on stuff like Grimnir too, so he's trying to keep me off. With an awareness that he's doing things like Evo and Grimnir, I know that I can play pretty aggressively, knowing that he's like thinking about the game that way for some reason. At this point, because this Wilbert is, I was thinking, I remember at this point I was thinking like, well, I kind of regret leaving the, I kind of regret using the bullet early. But in this case, we do plenty like this. I wouldn't say we do plenty like this. It's more that we're progressing into his board state like we need to be. In this case, he is going to coin straight into Aether and put down a very difficult board, but we have our Karula, we have our Beta, we can continue Gamma, we can continue making that incremental, because like it's not enough for lethal, right? That's like part of why this deck's matchup is so good against Ward. Even though we don't have Cannon, we do just have the ability to make these incremental pushes into his board that accomplish something. We're not just like not accomplishing anything into the board. So this is going to be a little bit of a sad Karula where we deal with the highest power and then just make sure the Aether dies to the Gamma and then leave it at that. If I remember correctly, he does something weird here. I think he's going to put this into here, let it go. Yeah, and then go here into here. I feel like I would have done these two into that. Because he left behind two things that both die to Gamma, which is interesting. Luckily, we draw Orcus, so it doesn't matter a little bit. So the game plan, if we didn't draw Orcus that I'd been thinking about before that, would have been pretty sad. Oh, I remember now. It was this, bring out this, play a real Striker artifact, crash it in, Super Evo this, kill that, and then let the 2/2/4 stay as 2/1s. That was the original plan. It wouldn't have been great, but that was the only thing I could think of at the time. Instead, we just draw into our Orcus so we can get rid of enough. At this point, he continues to remain ahead, but then he has to trade this into here because he's out of Evo points already. I am too, but it's not that big a deal. I draw Cannon, thankfully, and I can finally go for my regular game plan. I just fuse enough times and then put down the 2/2s. Make a second Gamma so we can keep this one forever. And then put both of these down. At this point, I feel pretty comfortable. He's going to Odin. He takes the Cannon, which is correct. Goes for face, which is goofy. I immediately take the chance to just go for this. As you can see, things are actually getting kind of tricky here. And he's going to do something that makes things really bad for me in a second. If I remember, yeah, Unholy Vessel Raw. And then Holy Shieldman. So, weird situation. I should be able to win in the long run, but I draw Catapult. So, fully and just make it not matter. Here we have 4 pieces and 2 catapults and 6 damage to do. So, really good draw there. Make sure that we don't have to deal with any of the future. And, like, if I didn't draw that specifically, it's hard to say what I would have done because I was going to adjust my play for whatever I drew anyways already. I didn't have, like, a strong play within my existing hand. I was hoping I was drawing a Cannon, to be honest. That's what I really wanted to draw was Cannon. But, in the end, we drew that instead, so everything worked out. After that, against Riami, we play Haven versus Forest. A nightmare of a matchup that is almost impossible to win. And we're going to see here why. I do something really stupid, in large part because I'm kind of like not even thinking of this as a winnable game to begin with, which is my fault. I do some mana efficiency stuff that makes no sense. Because, like, in my head, I already know I'm going to save this Titania for Wilbert, and then I don't. I just choose not to. For some reason, I put it down thinking, like, maybe it'll survive until Wilbert, and I didn't have a second one. Maybe I was playing like I had a second one, because I have had a second one, like, every other game so far for, like, I've had 2 of each card for a little bit now, but still just wrong. This play is fine. I have no negative things to say about this play here. In fact, this 2/2 gets to stick around for quite a long time. I draw a second Roach and start thinking about potentially just doing Roach stuff now, but then I don't. And I actually don't know why I didn't. Actually, let's pause this. This actually should have been coin into here, deal 3 fairy roach attack. And I think in my heart, I was like, what if I just don't throw another roach or a bounce? But I will, right? Like, it's not a real play pattern to hold these two roaches back like this and waste this that much. I do draw another bounce. At this point, I still am not playing properly. I should just put the roach down here, but then I don't. Oh, I do. Never mind. Okay, I'm happy with this. But I am going to regret, I think currently I'm playing acceptably for the plan, which is I have to win right now. But if I had the Eve here, it would have been so easy. And I can't believe I didn't hold it. Or not Eve, whatever her name is. Lily. I can't believe I didn't hold the Lily for the Wilbur. It's so... Oh, wait. No, this is Lily. What? I thought it said Lily. Oh, it was showing, what's her name? Titania. Not having the Titania here was a true nightmare. It makes no sense that I didn't have it. So, yeah. I draw another roach anyways. Things honestly don't even look that bad. A third coin again. That's the end. So, obviously, this is the end. I'll never get out of this ever again. But if I had used Titania last turn and I had the Lily this turn, it wouldn't have been as impossible. Still kind of impossible anyways. I think about it as an impossible matchup for a reason. But I made it more impossible for myself, for sure. So this was a bad one and kind of indicative of the fact I'm just kind of not thinking about the game correctly today. And, what are you going to do? I guess there's not much I can do about that in retrospect. It's too late now. Alright, and then we get Rune versus Forest, which we win as we're supposed to. This is also going to be a little messy here, but I do some things that make it possible. I think, if I remember correctly, I never actually I never completely miss a real lethal, but I do put myself in positions where things have to go a certain way anyways. I full keep this hand because I actually stand by full keeping this hand. This is like an acceptable, especially against Rune, when your goal is just to make sure you have a roach at all. As soon as I see it, I'm like, no, that's in my hand. I don't care. I need to make sure that I'm playing. I can't have like another Rune game where I just die for no reason. Even though the last Rune game I lost to myself, I was just like, let's just make sure I have the tools I need. So I have Lily for the I have Lily for Angrea, I have Rhinoceroach for the end, I draw into Glade, everything is going well so far, so I feel pretty good here. He's using Sage Light in a non-healing way, which is really weird, especially in this situation. I use my coin because I'm not using it next turn, and I just put this down because I have Lily anyways and Convocation, so I don't have to worry about the Angrea, so just go straight in. He's doing this more clearly. So this guy, by the way, it's open deck list. He has 3 of the Pascal in his deck. So he's doing something. I should have roached here. This is another one of those, like, there's a chance I should have gone, like, Fairy Roach Bug Alert. And Evo pointed too. But I didn't, and I'm going to draw slow and get punished immediately. Sucking up this Lamaga here, I don't think was correct. Actually, I kind of stand by it, but it was a weird choice. I kind of regret sucking up a Lamaga, though, but I guess there's not much else to do. Anyways, and you don't think you're going to need 2 Lamagas like that? I do in the end, but you don't think you're going to. I think I put a May down to make sure that I can draw a card for turn. And then this happens, and I think I'm about to use just take a Lamaga turn next turn. At this point, my hand is getting really weird, and I feel like it's like kind of getting worse in a bad way that I can't fully handle. But what are you going to do? Just Lamaga as needed. Lamaga is going to go into here. I'm going to use the burn damage to make sure that things die. Yep. Yeah, to make sure that I don't take unnecessary damage. This is a weird interaction here. I guess because it's Super Evo'd, it can't take Lamaga damage during his own turn. So it's that Kuon sticks for a very long time, and it honestly gives me a lot of value that's happening. That's actually one of my favorite things about Lamaga on curve is how much damage you can make it deal over time. He D-shifts early, which is again a good pattern for me to that he can't hold further. Although, of course, we're both aware what I'm doing, so of course you're going to play this way. He does not have a Pascal here, but he does have a Norman here, and he does Evo the Norman and heal himself up to 20. So things are getting tough here, but the Kuon will continue to ping him. So good. Glade would have been a weird choice here. I choose not to do it. I choose to go this way. And then Lily over there. Evo like that. If I remember correctly, it's Lambent Cairn next. And then this should have been... No, this is right. May and then that, and then he takes another 2. Yeah, I stand by this play too. Honestly, I think this game is pretty clean. It's not perfect, but it's cleaner than the last one. So I feel pretty good after this. I feel like, you know, I did really poorly in that first round, but I think like my mental state is I'm starting to recover mentally. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like this isn't. I can do this, right? I'm starting to think like, yeah, I can do this. I can get through this. This is a crazy situation. That's perfect. I honestly, so when I played that ambush, it wasn't fully my plan to just kill that off. I think I was planning to end up being forced to use a bail and or at least a second ambush. But it just hit perfectly. Like I just perfectly landed the because I'm looking at my hand like, well, I have 2 ambushes and a bail. I might have to burn a bail off right now, but then before I do that, let me just see what ambush does. Because I don't want ambush to hit here, but I just couldn't think of a better play, and I think my timer was running short, and I was just like, let me throw out the ambush before I throw out the bail, because I'm not going to use the ambush during a kill turn. And it just drew out, it just hit perfectly. Like, the plan was honestly double so ambush, ambush, bail, right? That's like one of the possibilities, and then roach in for some amount of damage. Using my play point. But at this point, because it hit so perfectly, I was like, alright, whatever, stop, just stop. I can just stop. I don't need to keep going. Hello, I'm back to say that I'm stupid. This is lethal. Now, this is 1, and if you already saw it, then congratulations, and I can't believe I'm this bad. This is 2, this is 3, it doesn't matter where this goes, it's number 3. Use the extra play points, so you have 9 left over, right? So you have 9 PP at this point. Roach. So Roach number 1 is card number 4. Roach number 2 is card number 5. Bounce a Roach card number 6. So 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. Plus this damage here for 19. So I just, for no reason, didn't win this turn. And didn't get punished. So yeah, yep. Just had to come back and revise my already recorded commentary that I missed lethal for no reason. So yeah, that was a really weird. And then he puts just a William down, doubles the William to a 10-10. But of course, we have exactly 18 here, without having to worry too much about it. Ding, ding. Ding. Yeah, and this is a simple one. Yeah, so there's a world where this went worse. But not this one. Oh, we have 21. What am I talking about? We have way more than 18. Yeah, so, yeah. And yeah, that was a weird one. Okay, so that's our 1 round that I win. After this, we play against Bad Neko 13, and I beat Control Abyss with Portalcraft. A matchup that, in my experience, is almost impossible. I think I'm 0 and like 20 against them on the ladder, or it's like 0 and 13, something insane. Like I've never beaten it before. In testing, I've beaten it before, but like it's a matchup that I know exactly what I'm going to try to do, because in my mind, this can't be won, but I know the best way that I might win it. Like I know the best chance I can give myself, and I guess I put him in a weird enough situation that he didn't know how to. I keep the Orcus because I'm aware that basically I have to perfect curve into Orcus into lethal. Like the Orcus has to kill him. Like it has to be like Orcus, and then maybe I get to use the Omega, and I just happen to get to use the Omega. I think he honestly just drew poorly enough for me to get through this. That's definitely a big part of it. I don't get through this off skill alone because this matchup is so impossible. In this scenario, it's just going to be a simple stream of life, but I top deck Artifact Catapult, which is crazy. Like a crazily good draw here. I get in for 1. And if I remember correctly, he's going to leave the 1/1. He's going to Rage of Serpent's Face, Evo the... Yeah, this is where I start to gain the ability to maybe win this matchup. He hits himself for 2, uses a bunch of resources to hit face, and then doesn't even accomplish enough and get to do a full clear here on the way to setting up the Carnelia. I Evo the Elise. I guess he isn't aware that my only win condition is to just win in time, and I can pressure him faster than he can pressure me because my hand just happens to be able to span betas like this. So everything goes perfectly in my favor, in large part because I think he's just not playing around my hand. Or he's not playing around me playing a certain way, because why would he? A little bit. I immediately Evo here and just crash. I'm not even going to entertain the idea of, like, using a bullet or playing the Miriam. We need to create the damage. We need to just create all of the available damage right now. We're getting to turn 8 in 2 turns, and I want him to be in Orcus range at that point. He makes that a non-option by doing this. But it's fine, because I'm going to go ahead and bullet and Miriam. Create a scenario where things kind of slow down a little bit, unfortunately. But in my mind, too, I'm trying to... again, here, I'm trying to make sure that I can potentially get to a second beta if it comes up. I was thinking about maybe just making the beta there, but I figured I would need all the fuses I could get. He does this for more healing, which is correct. If I remember correctly, this is not the Orcus turn. This is going to be... Yup, Doomright. Doomright, Miriam. Miriam is going to fuse to see if I can hit either the zombie or the 9/9 once. If I hit either one once, everything is perfect. I think it takes me a little bit too. I just keep fusing and hoping that I will hit it, and then I eventually hit one of them. Now I can Super Evo this for 7, and that'll take out everything. And that'll be a clear that puts him at 10, or 12. At this point, he Medusas really badly. This is why I can win this game. Because he forgets, I guess, that it can be destroyed by card effects, and I get, in tournament, the best case scenario I've ever experienced. This is not lethal, but it essentially ends the game. Ginsetsu will no longer be enough no matter what he does. And yeah, he just throws a Medusa and essentially a whole turn away for no reason. I'm curious if he simply had no other way to deal with the 7/7 word without doing that, because I can kind of understand to some degree if that was simply his only option to clear it, was to throw that 2 attack into it, but there's very little chance of that. He almost certainly just forgot that it would stick. And yeah, we get to win that one. And so at this point, I'm feeling great. And as you can see, we're about to get beaten down. Beaten within an inch of our life. I'm able to win this matchup for the same reason I'm able to beat Rune, which is that a deck that goes for the long game gets countered pretty strongly by Roach. However, even though that's how it works on paper, I'm about to get pretty handled, unfortunately. I will have a Roach, by the way. It's not going to be a Roachless game, but I'm not certain about that. I stand by that one a little bit, but I think the Carbuncle there was better. The issue is that, unlike Rune, he can kill me. In the sense that, like, whereas, like, Rune can't kill me, there is a threat that he can choose to produce so much burst damage that I die early. He uses this to clear, which is insane and probably wrong, but he chooses to. Yeah, I can't even say it's wrong. It's not bad. I don't know Nidabyss enough to say why that's wrong, but my gut is that he shouldn't have used that amulet there to clear. Regardless, Aragavi will land here. I'm going to, if I remember correctly, deal with it by glading, because I want to find Roach. I know what it's like to not see it, and I refuse to do that again, if possible. So just heavy Glade gameplay. Use my play point before it goes. Second Argali. What do I do here? I don't even know. Oh, I top deck May and then just May it. Yeah. And then I think I don't put the other fairy down. Yeah. I don't need to. Sharon is coming. That's fine, I guess. This is wrong. I don't know. I really thought the Sharon was super evolving here. It would have been for Vast Wing, but that's not bad. Just the... Oh, no. No, that was last game. Okay, never mind. I understand. If I remember correctly, I'm forced to Super Evo here because I cannot leave the Sharon no matter what. And I don't really have a better clear there. Do I? I do. I could have just attacked, and then used the bug alert. Oh, no. Let's go back. That was bad. That was really bad. So up until here, so far so good. So this is May into this. Attack, bug alert. Yeah, bug alert the May, kill this. Yep, simple. I don't know what I was thinking there. In the end, we end up getting some kind of value out of it anyways, which is probably why I don't remember it being a bad play, just because I didn't get punished. But, it was bad. It was definitely bad. I do have roach nerves. I'm starting to get the where's my roach nervousness. And that might explain why I leaned towards evolving a Lily to get one more draw just in case that's where it was. But it was bad. Here we find our first roach, quote-unquote just in time. Honestly, I was kind of like submitting a little bit. I was like, well, if I can't find this here, then I'm just going to lose anyway, so who cares? Instead, I set this up. We get through here. Even if I had the Super Evo here, right? Like, so many other ways to have had that turn go without getting scammed. If I had the Lily on that turn, it really was just a bad turn all around. And here we are. The turn that I honestly was shocked by, and that was my fault. So, first of all, if I had a May on this turn, I won. And the May that I would have had if I had bug alerted the May, like I mentioned earlier, would have won me this game. So this is a game I threw again. And I think it's another highlight for how much you have to be on it with Roach, and one of the reasons why I don't think I should bring it to best of 3, because I don't keep up that way over very long periods of time, especially switching back and forth between decks like that. So, you probably saw my best of 1. I stick to a deck once I play it because I'm very bad at switching my mental states quickly, and that's like a hindrance in best of 3, and maybe a reason why I should play 2 similar decks in best of 3. If I have May here, there is a line to win, but because I don't, Bug Alert has to hit one of these 2. If Bug Alert hits any of these 3, I immediately lose. Somebody did bring up that if I Garden's Allure and draw May, I win also. There's only one May in my deck, where I'm going to Garden's Allure at the end. You'll see that I don't get it either way, so there was simply no win condition here to begin with. But I Evo the Carbuncle. Actually, I should have attacked first. I thought if the Bug Alert hit here, I won, but I don't. This should have attacked first. Bug Alert, and this is a mistake, but I miss anyways. So this should have hit here to give myself a 50-50 to win. So I even do this wrong, unfortunately, I guess. But yeah, actually, you know what? I can draw on the screen. So this would be number 5. This would be number 6. Oh, whoops. This would be number 6. This would be number 7. 4 damage would go here, and then this is number 8. And I don't have a way to get through this board. And then after that, I'll be at 6 mana. So as you can see, I'm barely short. If we assume that the Bug Alert had killed this one instead, then of course this would have taken out that, this would have taken out that, and then, or this took out what it already took out. This would have gone here. If the Bug Alert had hit here, then we put the fairy down, and then, what is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 or 9. And 10 for 19. So the Bug Alert just had to hit here. If it hit the 4-5, it didn't work either. Because if this 4-5 was still here, then and this had turned into a 4-3 instead, we still can't between these 2 and the fairy clear everything. If I had one more fairy in my hand, by the way, I also could have done it. But I don't. So the Garden's Allure for the May would have guaranteed it, because I could have just made into here, and then used this into here, swung this into the 4/5, and then still had enough damage. But instead, the bug alert hits here, and I fail to win. And it's my own fault. So the Mei should have been in my hand anyways, and I can only be sad that I didn't notice early enough that one Lily turn really is where it fell apart. So I'm learning that now. I did not realize that until this point, that is the exact point. I was aware that it was my fault, but I didn't know exactly where I'd lost the game. But as you can see, the bug alert doesn't draw, or I don't draw Mei anyways, so there's nothing. Next, we are going to see Game 3 against Sword. Sword vs. Forest is just so much of a nightmare. They can create so much early pressure, and you're going to see like the perfect version of that problem in the next one. By the way, I'm happy about this hand. This is like as close I feel like as I can come to like being able to really get through this. In theory, the perfect way to get through Sword is going to involve like a bunch of early games, no roaches, and then just drawing everything on the perfect turn, I think. But having the Glade, having the Bale early, having Titania, it's like a lot of good things, even though there's a good chance I don't make it. I think I Godwood Staff here instead of Lambent Cairning because I just decide that if I'm going to win, I need him not to curve perfectly, and he doesn't. Wowee, what a life. Titania, get through, and then pass. And I think... no, this is the one where it's this game just doesn't... We're not playing. Zirconia into an Evo. This clears this. Play Glade. Ay, 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 ay. Glade can't even clear well. Vols to make it even more impossible. Yep, this makes it even more impossible. Yeah. Fairy. Bug alert. Ambush. Mei Fairy. Yep. Oh no, I Evo so I can play a Lambent Cairn. That's right, because I do need to do this. I actually do need to do this. I'm on board with this play here. So far, I really don't think I've had that many chances to do something different. Every turn has been so, like, yeah, yep, there he goes. Every turn has been so, like, forced that this was always just, like, an on-rails, do the only thing I'm allowed to do every turn, right? There's only so much I can do about any of this. The one thing I could have done was heal. So I guess I could have been at 7. And, oh, God, I should have been at 7. But even then... It's tough to say that it mattered. Already 1-2, I'm basically out of the tournament. 2 X2s did make it, but you can't really lose early and expect to be one of the ones that makes it in. So I figured I'd just keep playing just to see what goes on, what happens, and it doesn't go well. So this is Forest versus Artifact. Artifact Portal, one of its worst matchups is going to be Forest. It's very similar to... Because my build is very slow too, right? Like I have the option to go crazy, but not to stop Roach if they just have their hand... which he's going to. This is going to be a turn where there's like hope that I win, but in reality there isn't, because he never truly shows me that he has Roach. This isn't like a Roach chip turn. I actually got pretty excited that I was winning this one at one point, and you'll see why, but it's revealed to be false hope regardless. So yeah, so far so good. Make beta immediately. Yeah, because I know what I'm trying to do here. I think I top deck Carnelia. I perfectly top deck Carnelia here, I'm pretty sure. Like 99% sure, right? No. Huh. I guess I'm thinking of a different game. Okay. Leave the fairies, let him chip. I need to win too. I'm not winning in the long, long run. If I keep healing every turn, I'll just eventually die, similar to how Rune eventually dies. Unless I can get ward on the healer, but even then it's not really... I don't expect to win that way. And I don't try to. He gets his chip damage in nicely. I'm going to Karula here. And I think I'm going to Karula for Gamma here, too. Because I just want to make sure that this ends. This was a misclick. That was a full-on misclick. I remember it fully. That was a misclick. I'm supposed to Evo the Gamma. So I'm supposed to Evo the Gamma so that there's a chance that the Karula... if I Evo the Gamma, there's a chance that the Karula sticks. And I can Super Evo it for game next turn. Or at least create the pressure that might happen as a 5-4. Instead, it's a 7-3 that doesn't really do anything. And in the end, it doesn't matter at all. Because the Glade negates anything that might have changed. But I still regret it. Here, I draw Sylvia, but it's fine. I have a clean cannon into beta. and I take it. He continues to chip me and look around for stuff. This is a sign that he does have Roach, by the way. He's currently playing like he does have Roach already, which is why I've kind of like accepted my fate a little bit. There's a world where I should have healed to full here, but instead I just go for Orcus because I want to make sure that I can win. I honestly, in my heart, believe that if I heal to 19, I'll just die anyways. I mean, he's going to 9 mana, and he's like showing that he has Roach, right? So I just believe that I need to win. Which I'm not, I still am not, like, I don't think I'm wrong for that. But, here we go. He puts this Godwood Staff down. In my mind, I thought as soon as he does this, because he thought for a long time before putting that Godwood Staff down, it must be that his hand has no other 1-drops in it. Like, he just doesn't have another 1-drop, so he's like, well, what am I going to do? Staff, Carbuncle, Fairy is 3. Here's his second Bale. Here's Rhinoceroach. And that'll do it. So yeah, I really did think at one point, I was like, well, there's no way he has Rhinoceroach after he puts the Godwood Staff down, but I guess he just always had it. And his hand was just goofy enough that was the only line to do enough damage somehow. He thought for a long time before doing that, so it must have been something interesting. But that's how that one ends. Next, we play against Sword with Portal. And Artifact Portal, honestly, it performed really well. It did what it was supposed to for the majority of the games that I played it in. I think I only played it 4 times or something. That's a very funny hand against Sword. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that's the end. And it is. Yeah, this is the one where I topped that Carnelia. Yep, there. Artifact performed really well. I don't regret bringing it, but the Forest deck really was a big weak point, and a big mistake to bring. So I really do regret bringing it. And I should have brought Rune, honestly. I really think I should have just brought Rune. Honestly, I really think I should have just brought Mid-Abyss, but I'm not sure still. And I should have tested more for this format. I should have been more prepared. Defaulting back to the best of 1 decks was certainly a mistake. Here, I Alouette for Gamma, but it's only because I'm so low on pieces. Oh, right. I played the Carnelia early this game because I didn't even have enough pieces if I didn't. So, because I only had 1 piece from the Catapult, if I put the Carnelia down on turn, if I pass that turn and then put Carnelia down to the next turn with my extra play point, I won't even get to give anything work. So the only way was to play Alouette to get 2 pieces, so I just needed to do it this way anyways. Otherwise, I would have been passing for too long against Sword, and so it became worth it to waste the Carnelia like that, unfortunately. At this point, the dogs are getting completely wasted. They're doing nothing. I have a cannon up, so it's all for literally no reason. I'm now looking for a way to get to my... what's it called? I was looking for a way to get to beta. I couldn't get to beta. I just simply put nothing up, which is good. The Alouette honestly doesn't always need to be evoed. It can just be a pseudo Miriam if your hand demands it. This is a field that's, again, not good enough. I have access to the Gamma, so it's just Karula Gamma. But I think, if I remember correctly, I fuse first to see what happens, because I'm wanting to bring out the beta. Yep, that's what it is. Make alpha. Oh, no. That's right. I can't clear everything that way, so I do it this. Yeah, okay, I stand by this line. Especially because it gives me access to this turn, which is just Karula. Yep, and he doesn't even play around double Gamma at all, which gives me the leeway I need to just say, Gamma. Take care of everything pretty simple here. There's a world where I, like, do a crap load of fusing or something, but nah, it's not even really worth considering. This is another simple Gamma turn. I think what do I do here? I just do Gamma Stream of Life, right? Oh, no! Gamma Super Evo, because I want to get the Catapult down. That's what it is. You know what? I don't remember why I did that. What can I don't remember why. Well, this is nothing. The important thing is here, so whatever. Yeah, clean, normal game against Sword. Kind of just what I expect to happen. And now we lose with Forest yet again. Forest versus Sword. Keep, because how much better could it possibly get with a hand like this? I have like some early game, I have some late game or mid game, whatever. Draw Staff, fine. Carbuncle down because I need to. Samurai, Lemon Cairn because I need to. Draw a second Glade. Yep. Fairy, draw another Roach of this here. I really don't think I could have done any of this differently. This is starting to become more impossible. Draw the third Roach. Staff pass, because what else am I supposed to do? At least I can Glade, I think to myself. naively. Glade, by the way, no longer even clears because it's 7 damage. And there it is. And I'm dead. So yeah, truly a nightmare. Um, I don't know what I was supposed to do, honestly. Maybe just put the whole hand back. Look for an early game to make sure that I survive. I don't know. But yeah, the matchup is just bad anyways. So that was it. That was the tournament. A really sad showing. Bringing Forest when Sword is so popular was a true nightmare. And there's probably I could have played Forest way better and still been in the tournament at this point, but um, it was very difficult. A lot of Forest did end up making it in the top 8, so it definitely was a matter of my play, but I should have brought something that gave myself a little more leeway to get in regardless, because I don't have Roach Master to the point that some other people do. And it's not comfortable for me to play it, so that is that. Check out Kyoukai. That's the end of my replays. That's the end of my kickoff. I'll be in the qualifiers next weekend as well. I'll still be shooting for Worlds. But yeah, okay.